Hi, I'm Angie. Today I'm going to show you a recipe for blueberry lattice coffee cake. It's just a little bit labor intensive to make, and there's quite a few ingredients, but it's well worth the effort. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is make a sweet yeast dough. I'm going to use my KitchenAid mixer with a dough hook, but of course you can do this by hand, or you could use the dough setting on your bread machine to make the dough for you. So the first thing I'm going to do is add a 1/4 cup of warm water to my bowl. And I've got a teaspoon of sugar and 1 packet or 2 1/4 teaspoons of yeast. So I'm just going to sprinkle that over top and just let it sit for about 10 minutes. Okay, now I've got the bowl on the mixer and I'm going to mix in 1 stick of butter. That's 8 tablespoons. And that's been softened. And I have 1 egg that's beaten. And I've got 1/3 cup of milk. Now I've got 3 cups of all-purpose flour that I'm going to mix into the butter mixture. I'm also going to add 1/4 cup of sugar and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So I'm just going to let the mixer go until I get a nice soft dough. Even when I use the electric mixer to make the dough, I always like to finish with some hand kneading just to bring it together and make sure it's really nice, smooth, elastic consistency. Okay, that looks good. So I'm just going to set this aside and cover it with a cloth, and we'll go ahead and make the filling. So to make the filling, the first thing I'm going to do in my bowl is add 2 bricks of cream cheese. I'm using low fat, but you can use regular too. These are 8-ounce bricks of cream cheese that have been softened. To that I'm going to add 2 egg yolks and 2/3 cup of sugar, 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla. You can also use lemon extract if you want, and the grated rind of 1 lemon. I'm just going to beat that up with a hand mixer, an electric one. Okay, that's nice and creamy and light. We'll just set this aside and go on to assemble our coffee cake. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is divide your dough into thirds. And we're going to set aside 1/3 of the dough, and that's going to be our top layer. We're going to roll out the remaining 2/3 of dough into a 13 by 9 rectangle. So there's my 9 by 13 rectangle, and I'm going to place that into a greased 9 by 13 pan. And you just want to work the dough about 1/2 inch up the sides, and that's going to hold your filling. So just press it in and ease it up on the sides of the pan. Now you just want to scoop your filling into the pan right on top of the dough. And spread it evenly over the crust. Now I'm sprinkling 1 cup of frozen blueberries right over the filling. Of course you can use fresh too. I'm going to put a few extra just to make sure there's lots of blueberries. Make sure each piece has some. And then I'm just going to lightly press them down into the filling. Now with the remaining dough, the last third, you want to roll it out into a 10-inch square. Now you want to cut the square into 1-inch strips. I'm just going to use a pastry wheel, but you can just use a knife too. Now you're going to arrange the strips diagonally across your pan. You just want to seal the strips to the edges of the pan as best you can. It's all going to cook in anyway. Now what you want to do is cover this entirely with plastic wrap and refrigerate it for at least 2 hours or overnight, and then we'll bake it later. So we'll put this in the fridge and I'll show you the next step after that. So it's been a couple hours and I preheated the oven to 350 degrees, and I'm just going to uncover this. It doesn't really look too much different, and I'm going to bake it for about 40 minutes or until it's golden and the filling is set. So it's been 40 minutes and there is the coffee cake. Looks and smells really good. So thanks for watching, and I hope you'll try some blueberry lattice coffee cake.